Our football family journey begins with Craig Ironhead Hayward, who is the father of NFL players Cameron and Connor Hayward. And I couldn't think of a better place to start this video because, as his nickname might suggest, Ironhead Hayward immediately sets the tone of play his family would embody. Standing at 5 foot 11 inches and averaging around 260 pounds, Ironhead was a beefy dude, and defenses were well aware. But it wasn't just his size and power. Hayward also featured an unexpected quickness and agility to his game that helped him create plays at the fullback position. After a successful collegiate career at the University of Pittsburgh, in which he is third all-time for Pitt and rushed for 1,791 yards in his junior year, being elected All-American and even finishing 5th in Heisman voting, Hayward would be drafted to the New Orleans Saints with the 24th pick of the first round of the 1988 NFL Draft. Entering the NFL, Hayward also showed his versatility with outstanding blocking and good receiving skills to pair with his punishing run game. His breakout season came in his third season in 1990 when he rushed for 599 yards and 4 touchdowns, and also put up 121 yards receiving. He played for the Saints through 1992 before spending 1 season with the Chicago Bears, but it was his arrival with the Atlanta Falcons in 1994 where he truly hit his prime. At 28 years old, Hayward ran for 779 yards and 7 touchdowns, along with 335 yards and 1 touchdown through the air. However, it was the following season in 1995 where old Ironhead had his best performance. That year, he broke the 1,000-yard rushing mark, finishing with 1,083 yards and 6 touchdowns running the football, and tagged on 350 yards and 2 touchdowns receiving. This earned him his first and only Pro Bowl appearance, yet from there, his play began to drop off. After leaving the Falcons in 1996, Hayward would spend 1 season with the Rams before heading to Indianapolis to play for the Colts in 1998 at age 32. But before his season could really even get started, a tragic diagnosis of bone cancer in his skull marked the end of his playing career. Although he would endure intense medical treatment and be declared cancer-free, just a few years later, his cancer would return and Craig Hayward would sadly pass away at the way too young age of 39. He could be proud of a solid NFL career that to this day, his 1995 season marks the last time a fullback ever rushed for 1,000 yards in a season. In total, Hayward rushed for 4,301 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 1,559 yards and 4 touchdowns receiving in his 11 years in the NFL. But Hayward also left behind his 4 boys, Craig Jr., Cameron, Corey, and Connor. 2 of his sons would reach the NFL level and carry on the football family name in his honor. Built in his father's mold, an absolute unit of a human being, Cameron Hayward would continue the family's football legacy in the NFL as a defensive tackle for his hometown Pittsburgh Steelers. The 6'5", 295-pounder entered the NFL as a first-round draft pick in 2011, just like his father before him, although his career would get off to a slow start. His first 2 seasons was regulated as a backup rotational role, only garnering 1 and 1.5 sacks in 2011 and 2012. But also just like his father, Hayward's third year would serve as kind of a breakout season, finishing with 5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, and 7 pass breakups. And from there, he became a full-time starter, building a reputation as one of the most talented defensive linemen in the NFL. In 2015, during the NFL's breast cancer awareness campaign, Hayward would display Ironhead, his father's nickname, in a message on his eye paint. He said it was to honor his father and also help raise cancer awareness. But of course, the NFL would fine him for violating uniform policy, because of course they would. Anyways, after 2 very solid seasons in 14 and 15, Hayward would suffer a hamstring injury in Week 6 of 2016 that ended his streak of 85 consecutive games. However, later in Week 10 versus the Dallas Cowboys is where Hayward would endure a torn pectoral muscle that would end his season early. After 5 years of never missing a game despite his physical style of play, he had finally been cut short, but this only acted as fuel for Hayward, as he came back with a vengeance, putting up his best statistical season following his return from injury in 2017. That year, he collected 12 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 16 tackles for loss, and 3 pass breakups. This would earn him not not only his first of what would become 5 consecutive Pro Bowl appearances, but it would also be his first of 3 first-team All-Pro recognitions. In 2020, he had a bit of a down year in terms of sack numbers, but he was also able to record his first interception of his career. And then, funny enough, in 2021, he recorded the second interception of his career. So it just took a decade to get that elusive defensive lineman interception, but now he's got 2. And in 2021, at age 32, Hayward also roared back to form with a 10-sack performance, the second best of his entire career. So in his NFL career so far, Hayward has a total of 68 sacks, 7 forced fumbles, 101 tackles for loss, 42 pass breakups, and 540 combined tackles. So it's safe to say Hayward's stats and awards aren't anywhere close to being over. He is still playing at a very high level, embracing that physical, hard-nosed style of play that has come to be expected of the Hayward family name. And he still has seemingly plenty of gas left in the tank to continue to bolster that legacy. Our final addition to the Hayward NFL family tree is Connor Hayward, the youngest of Craig Hayward's sons. Connor was selected in the 6th round by the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he joins his brother, Cameron. Like his father and older brother, Hayward uses his thicker build to play power football. Initially starting out as a fullback in college, the same position his father played, Connor would move into a more of an H-back role with tight end responsibilities entering his senior season at Michigan State. Connor looks to hopefully continue in that role with the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he can begin to build his own name while also hopefully carrying on the torch for the Hayward NFL family legacy. From the outside, it might just look like the Hayward family is a bunch of beefy dudes who played hard-nosed football. And while that is certainly true, when you look closer you see a group of men who fully embody a love of football and a love of family. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this look into the Hayward NFL family tree. If you'd like to see more content like this, be sure to like this video. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button to join our growing community. I truly thank you all, and I'll see you in the next one.